Welcome back to Ben Leo tonight, only on GB News. Now, another day, another fatal stabbing in Europe as 3 people are killed and 11 injured in a knife attack at the German Festival of Diversity last night. Islamic State have tonight claimed responsibility for the attack in the western city of Solingen. On its Telegram account, IS said the person carried out the attack in revenge for Muslims in Palestine and everywhere. Meanwhile, German counter-terror cops have stormed an asylum seekers centre as part of their investigation. They have tonight reportedly arrested a Syrian national. That's according to the Bilder newspaper. I'm joined now by former senior military intelligence officer Philip Ingram MBE. Good evening, Philip. Thanks for joining me. IS have claimed responsibility for this attack. A Syrian national has reportedly been attainted. Is this the hallmarks of what's called a lone wolf attack, do you think?
Well, that's what the counter-terror police will be trying to ascertain very quickly, because IS have used the tactics of self-motivating individuals to go in. But we've got a 15-year-old was arrested earlier today for not sharing a potential crime with the police, details about it. And then we've heard of this second arrest this evening. The counter-terror police will want to very quickly make sure that it is someone acting alone and that there aren't others out there, and trying to get a presence out to make sure that there aren't copycat type attacks going. These things tend to happen in more than one.
Could IS just be claiming credit because it's an opportunity to? I mean, is there ever a situation where you do just get some nutter who's been watching some, pretty drastic YouTube videos, and then after the fact, IS say, OK, well, we'll claim responsibility for this because who's going to say otherwise?
It could be. They've provided in their statement no evidence behind it. They usually put 1 or 2 little nuggets in there that suggest they know more about it than anything else. But for them to come in and claim responsibility so quickly, that would suggest that they've got some connection into the individual. Of course, they will try and remotely motivate people to go and carry out these sorts of attacks. And the way we've got our polarized societies, not just in the UK, the US, but across Europe, with what's going on inside Israel, and all of the support that seems to be going out for Palestinian and Palestinian terror groups, I'm not surprised.
We're seeing these are the pictures now, not live, they're from earlier, but these are the pictures of German counter-terror cops at the asylum centre/refugee home. Do you think the terror alert will rise in the UK? Should Brits have reason to be concerned off the back of this?
Well, I think the security service will be speaking to the Germans very, very closely, and the Germans will be talking to all of their partner agencies across Europe, in the UK and elsewhere, because they'll be trying to identify how this individual's got motivated, if the Islamic State's behind it, if there's the potential for others to be there, and that will. Any intelligence that comes from that will be used to assess the UK's terror state.
Philip, it all feels a bit helpless, doesn't it? I scrolled through X, Twitter, and even tonight I've seen obviously not terror-related as far as I'm aware, but I see a video of a British man being stabbed in the neck. A very gruesome, grim video, which I tweeted about. I didn't want to share it. I mean, to be quite honest, it kind of felt like it ripped a part of my soul out watching a man probably dying on the street like that. But we hear about this every day, terror attacks here, there or everywhere, and it kind of all feels a bit too routine. This kind of stuff used to shock us, didn't it?
It did, and it has become too routine. And I saw that video myself, and that was in Birmingham, where I am. And I understand the individual has survived, thank goodness. But we have to be very vigilant as a society for the potential for terror. If we look at the chances of a terror attack coming and affecting anyone, it's very, very remote indeed. You've got more chance of being run over by your regular bus that's there. But it's the fact that violence comes in with virtually no notice and has such an impact and then gets broadcast out across the airwaves is something that gives it an effect that is greater than it actually does. And therefore we shouldn't be overly worried about it. But everyone should be vigilant. And if you're concerned concerned about something, if your gut feeling is saying something's wrong, report it to the police or report it to the security service. Have got a phone number for things to be reported into on their website.
I was going to ask you, actually. I mean, I can't believe I'm asking it because I just can't believe we're living in these kind of times. But can people do anything practically when they're out and about in public? For example, getting the train late at night or walking at the street late at night, or maybe at a populated event like a concert. Can we do anything practically to kind of try and help ourselves, albeit a little bit?
Well, there's a number of things that are coming in. We haven't had any serious terror attacks that have been successful since those horrific attacks in 2017. That's because our counter-terror police and security service have stopped a large number of late-stage attacks, and therefore they've got a good handle on what it is that's going on.
I was there at the London Bridge attack in 2017. I went down to get a sandwich. I was on a night shift, and I stumbled into the chaos. I'll never forget it. I saw a young Australian girl with her throat cut. I think of her every June the 3rd. But sorry, carry on. What can we do practically to protect ourselves?
Well, practically, there's a number of things that are happening. There's a new law coming in called Martin's Law, which will mandate areas where people gather in public domains, a basic level of security that those are responsible for those areas have to provide. The counter-terror police, security service are constantly reviewing the intelligence that they've got, and will take the intelligence that they get from these latest incidents and review the threat that there is to the British public. But everyone should remain vigilant, and you get that. You get that gut feeling that something's not quite right. And I always say, go with your gut. And if something's not quite right and you can identify what it is or who it is or something that seems out of place, don't be afraid to report it. As Brits, we tend to be afraid to pick the phone up. Don't in this case, because the police would far rather have 1,000 calls that have got nothing in them and get that one nugget that saves people's lives, rather than just not get that nugget.
Yep, our intuition, our spidey sense, it's underrated, isn't it? If you get a gut feeling, as you said, generally, most of the time, I think you should act on it. That's former Senior Military Intelligence Officer Philip Ingram MBE. Thank you, Philip, for being with us tonight. Right, coming up next, Manchester Police will not take part in this weekend's Pride Parade in the city as it bids to shore up professional standards. That means no dancing, no